Good morning, and welcome to the 2020 Santa Clarita State of the City virtual event. I'm Santa Clarita City Manager Ken Striplin, and it is my pleasure to welcome viewers from across the city to the first ever virtual State of the City. We have several groups logged on via Zoom, people watching on the city's Facebook page, and of course, many people are tuned in on SCV TV. Although we could not be together for today's event, as we normally are, the benefit of going virtual is the entire community now has the opportunity to view our State of the City project updates, community stories, and learn about upcoming initiatives and programs. If at last year's State of the City, we would have told you that in the next 12 months, at some point in 2020, the most important moment in your life would be finding a stocked toilet paper aisle, or that the most common phrase of the year would be, "Dude, you're still muted," or the hardest part of the global pandemic would be teaching elementary school math, you'd have never believed it. 2020 has been filled with challenges and hardships. Still, our residents have rallied together to support one another, show love to our essential workers, and enjoy the beautiful, safe, close-knit community we are all proud to call home. Throughout the uncertainty, progress has continued on landmark city projects. We are in the home stretch of construction for the much-anticipated new Canyon Country Community Center and the new Santa Clarita Valley Sheriff's Station. Under the leadership of the City Council, our organization has once again been honored with many accolades and awards. In fact, earlier this month, Santa Clarita took home not one, but two prestigious Helen Putnam Awards of Excellence from the League of California Cities. We were also voted one of the happiest cities in the nation prior to the Safer at Home orders, and during COVID's shutdown, we were ranked the 7th best place in the nation to be stuck at home during a pandemic. I want to thank the City Council for their leadership during these extraordinarily challenging times. I would like to thank the community for their resilience, our local partners for their support, and our city staff for continuing to provide top-notch resident services throughout 2020. Now it is my pleasure to invite up Mayor Cameron Smythe.
Well, thank you, Ken. And once again, welcome to the 2020 State of the City. And I'm proud to serve as your mayor. I would now like to welcome up Pastor Julius Harper for today's invocation. Pastor.
Let us pray. Our Father, maker of heaven and earth, we pray today that your will would be done in our city, state, and country, even as your will prevails in heaven. Today, O Lord, we humbly come before you seeking guidance and strength for all those of you have placed in authority. We pray for guidance as we lead and care for this city. We pray for those who protect and serve and live in this blessed valley. Let your kingdom come and let your will be done. Let peace, respect, honor, and brotherhood reign here in Santa Clarita. Give us wisdom to make decisions that will provide for our daily needs and for the future needs of this city. Forgive us of our offenses, known and unknown, and help us to extend love, forgiveness, and acceptance to all. Protect our great country from danger seen and unseen. And let us in every way be a nation that brings glory and honor to you. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Thank you so much, Pastor. Now it is my pleasure to welcome up a patriotic young member of our community. Ella Fernandez was selected as the Grand Marshal of our first ever 4th of July Pee Wee Parade. She is here today to lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance. And I'd like to ask the rest of our council to join. Ella, when you're ready.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right. A great job as always. Thank you very much. And I want to thank all of you for logging in, and of course, my fellow council members that are with us here today, both at City Hall and joining us online. First, we have Mayor Pro Tem Bill Miranda, Councilmember Bob Keller, Councilwoman Lorene West, and again, also tuning in via Zoom, we have Councilmember Marcia McLean. Thank you. We also have joining us via Zoom, whether we have Congressman Mike Garcia, State Senator Scott Wilk, Senator Henry Stern, Assemblywoman Christy Smith is there. I see Assemblymember, thank you for being here, as well as Assemblyman Tom Lackey, LA County 5th District Supervisor's Office Catherine Barger. We also have Sheriff Captain Justin Diaz, Los Angeles County Fire Chief Darrell Osby, Deputy Chief Vince Pena, Assistant Fire Chief Anderson Mackey, California Highway Patrol Captain Ed Crucy, and Public Information Officer Josh Greengard. We have members of the city's Planning, Arts and Recreation, and Community Services Commission here as well. And we are also honored to have our strong partnerships with our local education providers, including College of the Canyons, Cal Arts, the Masters University, William S. Hart Union High School District, Newhall School District, Saugus Union School District, and Sulphur Springs District. We also have partners from the Santa Clarita Water Agency, and of course, and I think all of those that I just introduced would agree, most importantly, members of our Santa Clarita community from across the city who are watching the first ever virtual State of the City event. So thank you all for tuning in. So what a difference a year makes. Last year at this time, we were gathered together in the ballroom at the Hyatt, where a sold-out crowd enjoyed the 2019 State of the City luncheon. Now, we are all physically distanced, but our community connections in Santa Clarita remain strong. This last year has brought with it adversity, heartache, uncertainty, loss, global pandemic, and a renewed call for inclusion and respect. Our sheriff's deputies, firefighters, and CHP officers are regularly heralded as heroes, but in 2020, all of our essential workers were elevated to hero status. And none more than the men and women who were literally on the front lines of the COVID pandemic. So I'd like to take a minute and check in with the hardworking men and women from Henry Mayo Hospital. Thank you all for being here today. Thank you, please. That's great. And first, I'd like to ask Yannick Biersing, clinical manager of the ICU, a few questions. And thank you for being here. Let me first ask.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you. So let me first ask. I know. Just tell us a little bit about how the last several months have been at the hospital. I mean, many of us have spent some time there, visiting and checking in. But the day-to-day operations, and I know that has been challenging. So if you wouldn't mind, maybe just sharing with the community a little bit of thoughts of how you've seen things over these last several months.
Well, first, thank you for having me here today. The last few months really has brought some adversity, but our staff and our clinicians have been working tirelessly and selflessly providing excellent care for our patients. And we have been overwhelmed by support from our community, from our local businesses or local churches, our neighbors and our friends.
Yeah, thank you. And we certainly have seen that across the community. How do you keep your staff motivated? I know people are professional and they care and they got into this job for a reason, but I know it can be tough day after day. And some of the thoughts on how the staff has been able to stay motivated over these last several months?
Well, the motivation really comes from our patients, from our community, and certainly from our team. I'm inspired every day by the unquestionable character and strength of my team.
And then just lastly, if you had a message for our residents and all those that are tuning in, any thoughts that you'd like to share, any message you'd like to provide?
Yeah, sure. To the residents of Santa Clarita here at Henry Mayo, we are resilient, we're compassionate, we're empathetic, and we're kind. we're prepared to continue to provide excellent care to our patients, and we're here for you.
Thank you very much. And I think that's, we have seen that, not just within the COVID unit, but certainly the day-to-day needs. The hospital continues to run and provide services. And we just want to say thank you on behalf of the city and all the residents for you and your staff and everybody at the hospital that really has been on the front lines. So thank you guys all so very much. And I know we'll probably be checking in a little bit later throughout the program.
Thank you.
Thank you, guys.
And thank you for servicing Santa Clarita.
Thank you. Our friends at Marston's just delivered lunch to your break room, so enjoy while you watch the rest of the program.
Thank you, and thank you, Marston's.
Throughout this last year, Santa Clarita and our residents have supported one another, looked out for neighbors, and shown a resilience on a scale that none of us could have imagined 12 months ago. So let's now take a look at what happened since October 24th, 2019, and how together, as a close-knit, family-oriented community, we have stayed connected and resilient. On October 24th, 2019, moments after the annual State of the City luncheon concluded, a fire was reported on the east side of the city in Tick Canyon. Fueled by hot, dry conditions and strong winds, the tick fire exploded from 200 acres to nearly 900 in less than an hour. The blaze actually forced the largest evacuation in the city's history, with nearly 40,000 people under a mandatory evacuation. Once the smoke cleared, 4,615 acres had been charred, 29 structures were destroyed, including 23 homes. Through the devastation, our community spirit still shone through, with neighbors placing signs of love and support on the lawns of charred homes, taking in their neighbors, housing their animals. Residents came together to show the strength of Santa Clarita. But we couldn't have done it without the support of our Los Angeles County Fire Department, Los Angeles County Sheriff's Department, and the California Highway Patrol, who all helped to save homes and lives during the tick fire emergency. Just as things began to return to normal following the massive tick fire, the morning of Thursday, November 14th, changed our community forever, bringing an unspeakable tragedy to our community. At 7:38 a.m., a student at Saugus High School opened fire on his classmates, injuring 3 and killing 2 before turning the weapon on himself. And our hearts go out to the families and friends of Dominic Michael Blackwell and Gracie Ann Muehlberger. These young, precious lives will never be forgotten, and the community will continue to support those who are still grieving and still healing. The new year brought with it a brief period of normalcy before a virus half a world away began to dominate the headlines. The coronavirus, also known as COVID-19, quickly became a global pandemic, and by mid-March, the state of California and Los Angeles County were issuing safer-at-home orders. Once again, the strength, resilience, and kindness of Santa Clarita continued to show through. The city of Santa Clarita launched the Hearts for Heroes campaign to support our local essential workers, including grocery workers, bus drivers, janitors, hospital staff, teachers, deputies, and many, many more. The campaign encouraged residents to decorate hearts and place them around the community with words of support. A giant heart was even illuminated on the new patient tower at Henry Mayo Newhall Hospital. Then, on May 25th, George Floyd was murdered by police officers in Minneapolis, spurring global protests expressing the need for police reform and racial equality. In Santa Clarita, hundreds of residents peacefully protested over a period of several months. I personally met with many of these activists, and together with the Hart School District and a diverse group of local participants, the Human Relations Roundtable has been launched. The mission of the City of Santa Clarita's Human Relations Roundtable is to encourage, assist, and empower our community to eliminate all forms of racism and discrimination, and to promote inclusion, understanding, and appreciation of all of our human differences. As the safer-at-home restrictions lingered on, the city of Santa Clarita had to get creative and innovative in how they delivered services to our residents. Santa Clarita trails remained open so people could get out and enjoy the beautiful open space that surrounds our city. And although play structures were shut down, our 35 well-maintained city parks remained open for walking, playing games with family members, and enjoying the fresh air. To keep up with the new demands for virtual experiences, the city furthered its efforts to better analyze the high-speed internet marketplace in Santa Clarita with the launch of speedup.santa-clarita.com, which is designed as a speed test and a survey tool to collect real data about the current state of broadband in our communities. Through all the restrictions, I am pleased to say progress has continued on a number of projects and new amenities throughout the city, with a majority of them taking shape in Canyon Country. In this part of the city, we have welcomed a new fire station, inclusive playground, bike park, and it is the location of two of the milestone projects within the Santa Clarita 2020 strategic plan, the new Canyon Country Community Center and the new Santa Clarita Valley Sheriff Station. The new community center is located on the 9-acre site at the corner of Soledad Canyon Road and Sierra Highway. The new community center will include a 25,000 square foot building that will consist of a gymnasium, multi-purpose room, dance room, activity and classrooms, and a demonstration teaching kitchen. The structural steel framing has been erected already, which presents a visual scale of the community center building. Site improvements include plazas and courtyards, walkways, parking, open turf area, an event stage, outdoor half-court basketball play area, several pieces of public art, as well as landscaping. The hard-working men and women at our Santa Clarita Valley Sheriff Station are eagerly looking forward to making the move to the brand new Santa Clarita Valley Sheriff Station. If you have driven by the 7.6-acre site on Golden Valley Road between Center Point Parkway and Robert C. Lee Parkway, you will see that roofing for the main station and vehicle maintenance buildings are now complete, in addition to the communications tower and perimeter sidewalls. This project is a joint effort between the City of Santa Clarita and the County of Los Angeles. The new station is scheduled to be turned over to the Sheriff's Department in the first half of 2021. The Community Task Force on Homelessness continues to meet monthly, bringing together the many services and resources from nearly 30 nonprofit organizations. This group continues to make progress on action items within the community plan to address homelessness. In addition to the work our community is doing, Measure H dollars are flowing to cities across Los Angeles County. Santa Clarita was a recent recipient of a $375,000 grant thanks to the Los Angeles County Homeless Initiative and United Way of Greater Los Angeles. $75,000 of that funds a homeless coordinator, and the other $300,000 goes towards property acquisition of interim family housing for Family Promise. Meanwhile, Bridge to Home continues to make progress on an enhanced shelter facility on the Drayton Street site, which is on land donated by the city. Santa Clarita also stepped up during the COVID-19 pandemic to allow Bridge to Home to relocate their shelter services to the Newhall Community Center temporarily. The community center provided better hygiene facilities and enough space for clients to maintain the necessary 6 feet of social distancing. This last year has challenged all of us in unimaginable ways. But through a community collaboration, support, kindness, and resilience, Santa Clarita has once again shown that by working together, we can overcome any obstacle.
Hi. Although we are physically apart, I am truly grateful to be with you virtually today. 2020 has been a challenging year for so many, but I know that better times are ahead for our community. This is in large part to our dedicated essential workers and residents of Santa Clarita who have shown resilience, patience, and heart in the toughest of conditions. One group of heroes that come to mind are our local firefighters from the Los Angeles County Fire Department. The COVID-19 pandemic did not stop the tremendous work they have done and continue to do to protect our community from fires. Recent occurrences such as the Soledad Fire, the Texas Fire, Lake Fire, and Ellesmere Fire come to mind, where fast and dedicated responses protected communities and residents and structures throughout the Santa Clarita. I must also recognize their outstanding efforts in battling last year's tick fire. In fact, let's talk to some of the firefighter heroes of the Los Angeles County Fire Department now. Assistant Fire Chief Anderson Mackey, thank you for taking the time to join us. How are you today?
Thank you for having us. We're doing well. We're taking advantage of the cool weather and staying prepared for whatever happens in the next coming days and the weekend.
Thank you for being here again. When receiving an emergency call, what is your mindset when entering these situations?
Well, when we're receiving an emergency call, the first thing that comes in mind is to make sure the personnel are safe. Make sure we got the correct address where we're going, and make sure we deliver first-class service to all the community in Santa Clarita.
Thank you. What message would you like to give to the residents of Santa Clarita?
Well, LA County Fire would like to remind the residents of Santa Clarita to always have a plan in the event of a major emergency, a wildfire, or an earthquake. And to help you with that plan, you can go to fire.lacounty.gov, disasters, look under safety tips, and choose whichever plan that's available, which is emergency disaster preparedness, safety tips on home safety, developing a plan for survival, and holiday safety tips. So I just want to make sure that everybody's aware of that and they're able to go to that website and log in. The next thing I would like to add is that as the time is changing, we want to remind all the residents to change your batteries and your smoke detectors if you still have those. Thank you.
Thank you, Chief. And thank you again to each of you for being with us today. And thank you for continuing to be essential heroes in our community. We hope you enjoy your lunch delivered by our friends at Jersey Mike's Subs as you watch the program. Now let's shine a light on some positive highlights from throughout the year.
Thank you.
Santa Clarita is a flourishing city with a host of diverse businesses and restaurants that call our city home. From Valencia to Saugus, Canyon Country, Newhall, and everywhere in between, you're guaranteed to find the right business for your needs. Some of our local shops and restaurants have been around for so long they have become a part of our city's rich history. One establishment that comes to mind is the oldest eatery in Los Angeles County, the original Saugus Cafe and Lounge. Our residents are more diverse than ever before, and our businesses reflect that. Now more than ever, it is crucial that we support them. Remember, many of those business owners and employees are our neighbors. The COVID-19 pandemic has caused uncertainty for many businesses in Santa Clarita. One way we have shown our support is through the Safer Business Commitment, which is a part of our Shop Local campaign. The Safer Business Commitment is a website that allows local restaurants and businesses to commit to following COVID-19 safety guidelines issued by the Los Angeles County Department of Health. Guidelines include safety precautions such as wearing face coverings, providing hand sanitizers, practicing physical distancing, implementing contactless payment, and providing COVID-19 awareness training for employees. Currently, over 150 local businesses have completed the commitment form on the website. And despite the times we're in, we are fortunate that our business community continues to expand in Santa Clarita. Just recently, Amazon decided to locate 2 distribution facilities in the Santa Clarita Valley. I look forward to seeing the new jobs and economic growth this adds to our community. Another exciting program that the city has introduced to support restaurants is Eat Local. The Eat Local program is helping local restaurants and commercial centers expand outdoor seating on private sidewalks and private parking spaces. This innovative solution is allowing restaurants to continue providing table service outdoors while indoor occupancy and service restrictions remain in place. You can support the local restaurants offering this type of service by dining al fresco. After shopping and eating locally in Santa Clarita, turn your attention to our art opportunities. Our community is home to many inspiring public art pieces. A quick bike ride past the Valencia Library will introduce you to the Imagine sculpture. A trip to the Santa Clarita Skate Park will unveil the vibrant Inertia. And a visit to Fair Oaks Park will reveal Santa Clarita's newest public art project in Fair Oaks Park titled California Scape. California Scape is a beautiful stone sculpture developed by Forma Studio that allows members of our community to lounge in its curves and to enjoy the lovely Chinese flame tree that grows within it. The public sculptures, paintings, murals, and poetry that we display truly add to the overall beauty of our city while also showcasing some amazing artistic talents. Santa Clarita's Arts and Events team has not let COVID-19 slow how we present and support art throughout our community. This year saw over 26 different gallery exhibitions with over 200 exhibited submissions. Be amazed and inspired by all the art in Santa Clarita by visiting santaclaritaarts.com for virtual galleries, public art maps, and upcoming opportunities. From the tough times of 2020, one bright spot that puts a smile on my face is the opening of the Santa Clarita's Inclusive Play Area in January. Located in Canyon Country Park, the new Western-themed playground welcomes children of all abilities. Features include wheelchair-accessible entrances, an inclusive zip line, sensory-friendly elements, and a shaded cover. Each of Santa Clarita's parks have unique and memorable features. Do you know how many parks we have in Santa Clarita? 35! This year we welcome our 35th park. Plum Canyon Park is a 7.4-acre park that opened to the public in June. The City of Santa Clarita is encouraging residents to get out and explore each of the parks in the 35 Parks Challenge. This challenge features a downloadable park checklist that can be returned to the city for prizes when completed. Families with children are encouraged to join the Parks Passport adventure as well by completing Parks Passport missions over the course of 3 months for the chance to win different prizes. Learn more about the 35 Parks Challenge at santa-clarita.com/virtual REC Center. From the parks to the silver screen, Santa Clarita's beauty knows no bounds. Some of the recent television shows and movies that have filmed in Santa Clarita include Call of the Wild, Mayans MC, Reno 911, Top Gun Maverick, Bless This Mess, NCIS, and many others. In fiscal year 19/20, the City of Santa Clarita's Film Office was fortunate to issue 468 permits, which led to 1,249 film days and over $30 million in estimated economic impact. It's amazing to see strong final numbers despite delays and restrictions brought forth by the COVID-19 pandemic. I'm grateful for all of the new and exciting projects we brought to Santa Clarita this year, even in the midst of uncertain times. As I mentioned before, Santa Clarita is a more diverse community than ever before, and I'm excited to be part of Santa Clarita's promising future.
This past year has thrown many challenges our way, yet each time our community has risen to overcome these obstacles. Through it all, our safe community has been able to rely on the dedicated men and women of our Santa Clarita Valley Sheriff's Station to protect our city. Today is State of the City, but we have also selected today to show our appreciation to our local deputies and staff. We are showing our gratitude to the station staff by feeding them breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Let's check in with our men and women in uniform. We are joined now by several deputies and Captain Justin Diaz. Captain, paint a picture of what these last 12 months have been like for the department.
Thank you, Councilman Keller. Yes, so during the last 12 months, we've seen a variety of things within our community. If you think about it, fires, COVID-19, protests, and of course, the tragic school shooting at Saugus High School. But no matter what the situation, Santa Clarita Valley Sheriff's Station will always be prepared to serve the community.
Sheriff's deputies are always on the front lines, from responding to emergencies to assisting during fires to keeping Santa Clarita streets safe. What is your approach or mindset going into each day you go to work?
Yeah, it's a great question. Well, each day the men and women assigned to Santa Clarita Valley Sheriff's Station come to work ready to serve the community. They're highly trained and prepared for absolutely any situation. We've enjoyed overwhelming community support, which of course has led to high morale and high motivation among the personnel assigned to the station.
What message would you like to give to the residents of Santa Clarita, Captain?
Well, I'd like to tell everybody that your Sheriff's Department is here to serve all the residents of the entire Santa Clarita Valley. We're working 24/7 to keep the community safe and is one of the safest in the nation. However, we do need your help and the help of the entire community. We need your eyes and ears. And remember, if you see something, say something, and please call the station.
Thank you all so much, and the entire staff at the Santa Clarita Valley Sheriff's Station. What you do for Santa Clarita community. I know that Lucille's food truck is on site, serving up lunch to your team. Please enjoy. And of course, the sheriff's deputies are not the only essential workers in Santa Clarita who have dedicated their lives to serving the community. We are also grateful for our partnership with the California Highway Patrol and the partnership the city has with all agencies that work to enhance safety and protect the lives of all residents. Let's now take a closer look at highlights in public safety, traffic safety, a salute to our military members in Santa Clarita, and much more. Time and again, families move to Santa Clarita or decide to stay for generations due to it being a safe community where residents genuinely care about one another. Not only is this seen in the number of nonprofit organizations serving the community, but it is also on display by the dedicated women and men in law enforcement and public safety agencies in Santa Clarita. Our city continues to be hailed as one of the safest in the nation. In fact, in a recent survey, Santa Clarita was ranked #1 in community safety by LawnStarter. In fact, over the last 5 years, the Part 1 crime rate has seen a 29.8% decrease. Due to the proactive approach to stopping crime taken by the Sheriff's Department, residents can rest assured that law enforcement officers, under the leadership of Santa Clarita Valley Sheriff's Captain Justin Diaz, are working around the clock to keep Santa Clarita safe. This also extends to the traffic safety team, a collaboration between the city manager's office, traffic division, and the sheriff's station. Traffic safety team continues its work to reduce the number of collisions and injuries seen on Santa Clarita roadways through education, engineering, and enforcement. I am proud to report the city's collision rate has dropped nearly 30% in the first half of 2020 compared to last year, and total collisions are down nearly 29%. DUI collisions have dropped 10.5 compared to 2019. Pedestrian and cyclist collisions are down 46.9%, and fatalities are down 60%. Folks, I will admit, COVID probably had a little role in those drastic numbers coming down, but it's still good to hear and read about. A group that deserves unending thanks and praise in protecting the Santa Clarita Valley is the Los Angeles County Fire Department. These brave men and women protect life and property every single day, as we saw last year during the Tick Fire, and earlier this year, the Soledad Fire and the massive Lake Fire. We'd also like to thank the officers with the California Highway Patrol who do the important job of not only keeping freeways safe on a daily basis, but also assisting when called upon in an emergency. From closing roadways to allowing firefighters to battle flames and coordinating of the Sheriff's Department during citywide emergencies to protecting motorists stuck on the side of the road, these officers do much more than patrolling the highways. Public safety and healthy living are priorities, not just for first responders, but for the city staff as well. Although faced with many challenges this year, students participating in the city's DeFi and SCV program have continued to receive education and programming that addresses drug prevention, bullying, suicide prevention, and even more. This award-winning program reached approximately 27,000 students and parents in the last year through parent workshops, elementary school assemblies, monthly DeFi and SCV club meetings, outreach and social events, online activities, and more. Additionally, nearly 10,000 fourth, fifth, and sixth graders participated in Good Choices and Lifelines assemblies at school. During the Safer at Home orders, while residents were isolated at home, these topics grew even more critical. City staff leveraged digital platforms to keep students engaged and informed of how they could continue to lead active and healthy lifestyles while dealing with the mental and physical effects of school closures and missing friends, and channel their energy into positive and enriching activities. The veteran community in Santa Clarita, as well as family members and loved ones of active duty military personnel, exemplify what it means to care for your neighbor each and every day. Throughout my career, I have worked to protect and serve residents and constituents. I have a deep and lasting respect for those who answer duty's call to serve this great nation of ours. These men and women and their families deserve our eternal thanks and support. And one way we let them know they are in our hearts is through the Hometown Heroes banner program. The city proudly honors hometown heroes with banners installed on street poles featuring the names, photos, and ranks of our heroes. Another way the city has worked tirelessly protecting the residents of Santa Clarita and the environment is through the fight against the mega mining, which is why it is my pleasure to announce that there is no longer an active CMEX mining contract in Soledad Canyon. Every single Santa Clarita City Council for more than 20 years has fought tooth and nail to protect Soledad Canyon in this community from what would have been one of the largest sand and gravel mining sites in North America. The proposed mega mine would have allowed for the mining of 56 million tons of sand and gravel, which would have had a catastrophic effect on our environment and quality of life. The city is thankful for the commitment and dedication of community partners and organizations who have supported the city in its effort to preserve the 460-acre site on eastern edge of Santa Clarita for generations to come. As a city, our top priority is always and has been the health and safety and well-being of Santa Clarita residents. It has been my honor and a pleasure to serve the residents of Santa Clarita as a member of the City Council and 4 times as mayor over the past 2 decades. I have tremendous faith that our leaders will continue to ensure Santa Clarita remains one of the safest cities in the nation for years to come. I thank you.
Hi. Good afternoon, everyone. Hi again. Good afternoon, everyone. I wanted to say that I was planning to be at City Hall with all of my fellow council members. However, I wasn't feeling quite up to par, and I thought it very prudent in order to just kind of stay away. And I want to thank Communications Department for still allowing me to be with you this afternoon. Santa Clarita is the envy of many other cities in Southern California because we always meet the challenges faced by events happening around us. This year of 2020 is like no other. Because we are strong and resilient, we always come out on top of the challenge. We have shown strength on issues both big and small, and it is a testament to the wonderful individuals who live and work in our community. Some of these individuals and heroes in the eyes of so many are our transit workers. From our bus drivers to our operators, support staff, mechanics, and beyond. These essential workers continue to keep our community moving safely throughout the COVID-19 pandemic. And it is my absolute pleasure to introduce you to some of Transit's hardworking team who have joined us today. Thank you all for being here. And I would like to ask our Transit Manager, Adrian Aguilar, how has COVID-19 impacted or changed the way in which you deliver services?
Councilwoman McLean, thanks. We're excited to be with you today. Transit has dedicated a lot of time and resources to making sure that our service is safe for our riders and staff. We've reduced capacity on our buses in order to maintain social distancing. We've also installed barriers to protect both our riders and our bus operators. We've implemented rear door boarding. We've done things such as rolled out extensive cleaning and disinfectant regimens aboard all our vehicles. So we've been pretty busy. That's great.
Thank you so much. And also, how in the world do you remain positive and keep everyone positive and optimistic in your position?
Well, as a team, one of the things that we do is we focus on our core mission, which is to deliver the best service we can and improve the quality of life of our riders and the folks here in Santa Clarita.
And what would you like Santa Clarita residents to know about the transit team?
Well, one of the first things I'd like Santa Clarita to know is that they have a dedicated group of professionals working 7 days a week, 363 days a year. And we do take 2 days off for the holidays. To provide safe and reliable service here in Santa Clarita. They should also know that we are looking to the future as we work to reintroduce services such as Go Santa Clarita, which is an Uber-like on-demand service, and as we prepare for the addition of zero-emission buses into our transit fleet.
Thank you so much for sharing all of that with us, and thank you again to the entire transit team for all that you do. You are truly our heroes.
Thank you.
Now, please enjoy, you're welcome. Please enjoy lunch delivered from our friends at Jimmy John's as you continue to watch the program. The transit team is one of many in our community that has continued to deliver the services that our residents want and need despite the current dilemma. And now I'd like to show you some additional information about some of these services and initiatives that have supported the Santa Clarita community in the past year.
No one could possibly have predicted what this last year had in store for us. Through all of the challenges and obstacles, our community has demonstrated an irrepressible spirit and determination to keep moving forward. And I want to do all I can to keep it that way. The dedicated men and women at Santa Clarita Transit have kept the community moving throughout the safer at-home orders, and new mobility resources are on the horizon. Santa Clarita Transit was awarded approximately $18.3 million from the U.S. Department of Transportation's Federal Transit Administration as part of the CARES Act. The city will use these grant funds to support transit services with a focus on increasing health and safety measures for drivers and riders. In January, we celebrated the groundbreaking of the Vista Canyon Bus Transfer Station in Canyon Country. Work is also underway at that site for a new multimodal transit hub featuring a new Metrolink station. The station is just one of the many innovative developments that continue to show Santa Clarita as a transit-friendly community, while also expanding the city's mobility network. Throughout my time serving the city of Santa Clarita, I have always had a passion for transportation. As a member of the North County Transportation Coalition Board, I continue to work hard to ensure that our community's transportation projects and needs get the attention they deserve. One project that I have been a strong advocate for is improvements to the Antelope Valley Metrolink line that were outlined in the 2017 Antelope Valley Line Study. In October 2019, the North County Transportation Coalition Board approved a motion to dedicate over $116 million in Measure M sub-regional funds to invest in some of the improvements included in the study. Just this last April, we were fortunate to announce that the Los Angeles County Metropolitan Transportation Authority was awarded a much-needed $107 million for upgrades to the Antelope Valley Metrolink line. Funds will go toward increasing the frequency and efficiency of the current train schedule, positively impacting ridership and benefiting the residents of Santa Clarita. I've been chosen to speak to you about our road infrastructure and maintenance. Not the most interesting or glamorous, but still very important for you to know that we take keeping our roads and neighborhoods in good order very seriously. The city's Public Works Department continues to complete maintenance projects that not only beautify Santa Clarita, but also extend the lifespan of critical infrastructure. Through the sidewalk and concrete program, safety is enhanced for pedestrians and cyclists, while the annual road rehab program fixes road issues before they become larger problems. One thing we do really well in Santa Clarita is to not let things get us down, but to figure out a way to make it work for all of us. The team at the Santa Clarita Public Library has been hard at work delivering outstanding virtual and modified services to the residents of our community. Innovative new services were introduced, including library lockers at the Valencia and Canyon Country Library branches, and coming soon to Old Town Newhall. The new lockers offer a 24/7 system for residents to pick up items that they have placed on hold. Residents can also access modified passport services, printing services, and, as needed, curbside services to accommodate varying needs. If you haven't done so already, I urge you to sign up for a library card to start enjoying the vast collection of books, materials, and other resources. A library card also unlocks amazing resources for students and parents. School obviously looks a lot different for many this year, with most students learning remotely or via homeschooling. No fear, the Santa Clarita Public Library is here to help. Tools like Help Now and Explore for Students offer free live tutoring, homework help, test preparation, research databases, ebooks, and more. Parents facing the challenging task of homeschooling this year can find support in the Parent Teacher Resource Center collection. One book you should definitely check out from the Santa Clarita Public Library is the new Sammy Clarita book, Sammy Gets to Work. Within the pages of this adorably illustrated story, the much-loved Sammy Clarita discovers his true calling as a recycle hero. We have all done a good job, and Santa Clarita residents have placed 15% more recyclable material in their trash containers in the first 6 months of 2020 than during the same period of time, 2019. Our city is always looking for new and important services that we can provide to our residents. Can you hear the wedding bells? In February, City Hall Ceremonies was officially launched, welcoming loving couples to take advantage of marriage services at City Hall. So far, the City of Santa Clarita has issued 112 confidential marriage licenses and performed 65 wedding ceremonies. With all that has transpired in the past months, it is hard to imagine that last year at this time we were gearing up for events like Light Up Main Street and the Santa Clarita Marathon. In 2019, Light Up Main Street saw 10,000 attendees enjoying an exciting winter wonderland, including food trucks, holiday musical performances, and even a special visit from Mr. and Mrs. Claus. The 2019 Santa Clarita Marathon featured 2,700 participants running on courses inclusive of roadways, beautiful off-street trails, and paseos. And 1,100 kids participated in the Final Mile Challenge. This year has certainly been challenging for all of us. Let's continue to support one another and keep an eye to the future when your favorite city events will once again bring our community together.
The last 6 months have been trying for all of us, but for teachers and students, the normal school model has been turned completely upside down. While navigating distance, learning has presented a new set of challenges. We express our eternal thanks to the teachers and administrators who are continuing to innovate and do everything possible to provide our children with the high quality of education they deserve. We also want to recognize all of the Santa Clarita Valley students who have adapted to such drastic changes and continue to show their strength and determination in this confusing and chaotic time. For all the students and staff at Saugus High School, this new form of learning comes on the heels of unimaginable tragedy. Thanks to a strong support system and an exemplary school leadership, staff and students are working together to make the most out of 2020. Let's check in now with more of our special guests from Saugus High School. Thank you all for taking the time to join us today. I would like to ask Assistant Principal Marcus Garrett, how has the fall semester been for your staff and students?
Well, thank you, first of all, for having all of us here. There are about a dozen of us from the Saugus staff that are visiting today. You know, I think it goes without saying that this semester is not what we expected. But I will tell you, you mentioned the adaptability that everybody's kind of demonstrated. And I would say the staff at Saugus, our teachers especially, have demonstrated remarkable adaptability, and they continue to change and improve what they're doing with the new online format that we're currently required to utilize.
How do you remain upbeat in these uncertain times?
Well, I think more than maybe any place I've ever been in my entire working career, being at this school is like being with your family. And we use a lot of comedy with each other. You know, we get up every day, we get dressed, we come to school. And we also talk a lot about the fact that this isn't the first time in our history that we face anything uncertain in the world, you know, and we know from our history that everybody adapts and overcomes whatever we're faced with. And if anybody knows that, I think it's the staff here at Saugus.
What message would you give to students, staff, and families of Saugus High as you look ahead to the rest of the school year?
Well, this is the same message I've been telling everyone from our Saugus family that I see whenever I see them. First of all, we love you. And second, that we look forward to welcoming you back to our campus as soon as we're capable of having you here.
Thank you again for joining us today, and to Assistant Principal Marcus Garrett for all you do for the entire Saugus High community. I trust you've all received and are enjoying your lunch delivered by La Cucina. In the past year, much progress has been made on new entertainment, retail, and dining opportunities in Santa Clarita, while the city has also worked to protect and restore pieces of our shared history. Let's now take a look at some of these new beginnings as well as updates on projects that will preserve vital resources, cherish memories, and physical locations that make Santa Clarita the wonderful city it is today. Our city of Santa Clarita is as beautiful as it is historic. From the thousands of untouched acres of preserved open space that surround our valley to the wooden planks of the sidewalks in historic Old Town Newhall, this year we moved to preserve our history while embracing the bright future of our city. Speaking of Old Town Newhall, significant work has been done to re-energize and revitalize this area, which is the premier arts and entertainment district in our city. On the north end of the block, Newhall Crossings and the brand new Laemmle Theater offer residents new entertainment, dining, retail, and housing opportunities. With shops and dining on the ground level and apartments on the upper floors, Newhall Crossing provides a mixed-use experience for residents and visitors. Just next door is the Laemmle Theater, which will showcase foreign, independent, and art house productions for which film lovers throughout the city have been clamoring for. Just steps away from Main Street in Old Town Newhall, work is underway to preserve our rich Western heritage by protecting historical structures in Santa Clarita. The Santa Clarita Valley Historical Society has been working to re-roof 7 historic structures in Heritage Junction in Old Town Newhall. Renovations at the Pardee House are now complete, consisting of new electrical wiring, a new roof, and a new HVAC system. By re-roofing and remodeling the structures in Heritage Junction, which you can visit the next time you are at William S. Hart Park, the Santa Clarita Valley Historical Society and City are ensuring that these buildings will stand the test of time and be available for future generations to enjoy. Decades from now, today's youngest residents will bring their own children to Heritage Junction to take a step back in time and see the historic homes, train station, and schoolhouse that were centerpieces of society for their forefathers. Great progress is also being made to preserve the Pioneer Ore Refinery, built and operated in the 1870s by early Santa Clarita Valley residents. Way back in 1935, the site became a state historical landmark for being the first commercial oil refinery in California. In 1975, it was formally recognized as an engineering marvel. Chevron donated the Pioneer Oil Refinery site to the city in 1997, and since then, the City Council is working to stabilize, preserve, and restore this one-of-a-kind piece of our nation's history. As many of you know, the city has been a strong supporter and advocate for the Rim of the Valley Corridor Preservation Act for nearly 2 decades. This critical piece of legislation seeks to expand the Santa Monica Mountains National Recreation Area, adding more than 191,000 acres to the Rim of the Valley corridor, including vital portions of open space in the Santa Clarita Valley. I was delighted and very encouraged to see that the U.S. House of Representatives passed this important legislation on February 12 of this year. The legislation has advanced through the U.S. Senate Committee on Energy and Natural Resources. The Rim of the Valley corridor is vital to preserving irreplaceable resources, including water quality and quantity, as well as enabling some of our country's most iconic wildlife to remain in their natural habitat and travel safely through the mountain ranges circling the Los Angeles basin. The city also remains committed to seeing through the establishment of a monument and memorial commemorating the tragic St. Francis Dam collapse of 1928. Last year, President Trump signed the Natural Resources Management Act, which included language to create a national memorial and monument to permanently honor the victims of this tragedy and recognize this critical historical event for generations to come. Local and regional historians have organized the nonprofit St. Francis Dam National Memorial Foundation to raise funds for the permanent visitor center at the dam site. As well as preserving our history, I am proud to say that once again, the city was able to preserve even more open space this past year. as we continue our quest to protect the environment and natural ecosystems in the Santa Clarita Valley, open space preservation remains a top priority for the City Council. As part of Needham Ranch development, which continues to progress along the 14 Freeway and Sierra Highway, an additional 90 acres of open space were acquired by the city in 2020. This property will be improved by the city with a trailhead and a new trail that provide another connection into the Newhall Pass open space. Historic buildings and beautiful open space areas are not the only things being preserved in Santa Clarita. The Santa Clarita Public Library has also been hard at work archiving documents, photographs, and other materials to safeguard them against the ravages of time and to make them accessible to researchers and the public. Already, the city's new history librarian has been building the framework for a robust archival program that will not only showcase materials already on hand, it will also include a process for accepting donations from the public. The City Library has partnered with the Santa Clarita Valley Historical Society to apply best practices to the curation of photographs that date back more than a century, and they are actively preserving and digitizing the Signal Photo Archive. Donated by the Signal newspaper to the community, this approximately 100 cubic foot collection of photographic negatives contains nearly 1 million individual images from the 1960s through the early 2000s. Working collaboratively with local historians, the Santa Clarita Public Library is helping to ensure that the documents and photographs that tell the rich and colorful story of our valley will survive to educate future generations. This year, city staff expanded offerings for those wishing to go on an adventure as more and more residents took to our trails and open space areas for exercise and mental refreshment. Approximately 1.7 miles of new trails were constructed in the Golden Valley Ranch open space, complete with 3 new trail bridges. In addition, the SCV Trail Users Volunteer Group constructed a total of 2.3 miles of new trails in the East Walker Ranch, Golden Valley Ranch, and Haskell Canyon open spaces for all to enjoy. You can learn about these new hiking opportunities and more by visiting hikesantaclarita.com. If you prefer to explore our trails and paseos on 2 wheels, new amenities were also added this year for cyclists. The award-winning Give Me Green pilot program has not only made it easier to ride your bicycle on city streets and trails, but has also made doing so safer for cyclists and drivers. Hundreds of cyclists have taken part in this program, which enables them to download the Give Me Green app to their phone so that they can be detected as soon as they approach certain intersections in Santa Clarita, triggering a green light for crossing. Staff is also working on updating the non-motorized transportation plan, and the city is looking at adding a 50% increase to existing bike lanes and bike paths to provide a better link for residents in Saugus, Canyon Country, and Newhall to trails throughout Santa Clarita. Speaking of biking, the city recently opened the new Trek Bike Park of Santa Clarita, a 7-acre site at the top of the Santa Clarita Sports Complex. The bike park was a collaborative effort, and we appreciate the support and input the community provided for this important project. Trek Bicycle Corporation, one of the nation's premier bike manufacturers, will directly invest in the development of the bike park by funding projects that benefit riders' experience at the park. Grab your helmet and go for a ride. Although the traditional 4th of July events we typically enjoy were canceled, including the annual parade in Newhall and Spirit of America fireworks spectacular at Westfield Valencia Town Center, the city introduced 2 new patriotic events for our community to enjoy. Santa Clarita residents came together to show their patriotism and resolve by participating in the city's first patriotic tour and Pee Wee Parade. As part of the patriotic tour, residents and businesses decorated their homes and storefronts in Americana in the weeks leading up to the 4th of July. The Pee Wee Parade allowed residents to bring the traditional parade indoors by creating their own miniature float to share with the community. We appreciate all the residents and businesses that participated in the first ever patriotic tour and Pee Wee Parade. With thousands of acres of open space, miles of trails to explore, and an undeniable Santa Clarita spirit, the city and its residents continue to work together to celebrate and preserve our history, protect our natural resources, and ensure that Santa Clarita residents continue to enjoy a high quality of life.
From the very beginning of the COVID pandemic, Santa Clarita city staff have continued to work on behalf of our residents. Our city team members remained out in the field, removing graffiti, fixing potholes, maintaining our beautiful city parks, and providing many other essential services. And I want to thank our city staff for the top-notch service they continue to provide to the Santa Clarita community. So logging on now, we have city field staff from streets, stormwater, general services, mail services, traffic, parks, graffiti, code enforcement, building and safety, public works inspectors, and urban forestry. So what I want to do really quick is chat with our street maintenance worker, Steve Rodriguez. Steve, thanks for being here.
Thank you for having me, sir.
Absolutely. So, we know you guys have a rough job, even under the best of circumstances. So tell me a little bit about what's been challenging over the last 6 months that made it different than previously.
One of the big challenges that we've been dealing with is normally our kids would be in school. Instead, a lot of them are faced with the task of juggling babysitting arrangements and helping out with homeschooling, all while trying to attend to work. As a street maintenance worker department, I believe that great majority of our team has done a good job managing it. But we try our best to keep coming to work because we have to keep the roads safe for the public safety.
No, thanks, Steve. And you just illustrate kind of a point that we try to make. Over these last several months, our city staff has made sacrifices like everyone has, but they still have come out, even with the impacts to their own family, to make sure that they are keeping our streets safe, our parks clean for the community as a whole. And so, Steve, I want to thank you and everyone that's on here for that. How's the morale been? I know you just kind of shared some of the challenges. How do you think the morale's going?
We have a great attitude towards our new adjustments with the support of our supervisors. Having them always checking to see if we have everything to complete our daily task is a great help. Also, them checking to make sure that we have all our PPE is a good way to show their support. So morale's been pretty good.
No, that's great. And again, I just want to, on behalf of all of the council and our residents, say thank you to all of you that have dialed in and those that are actually out working right now on behalf of the community. Thank you for the work that you've done. The Santa Clarita is an amazing place, and much of that is because of all of the folks that you see here on screen. So thank you all, guys, for taking a few minutes out and being part of our State of the City event. So normally, at the end of the State of City events, the City Council presents a fun video showcasing our surprise talents or silly moments. Seriously, I did a Hamilton rap, and I danced with the Heart High marching band in my Letterman's jacket. Look it up on the city's YouTube page. You won't regret it, but I might. But this year, we wanted to do something different, something special to embrace our community connections and honor our essential workers and those who deserve a little something to make them smile during these trying times. Thanks to our community partner Logix, we were able to spread some feel-good vibes around Santa Clarita. Take a look. Hi, I'm Santa Clarita Mayor Cameron Smythe. I'm here today at the future headquarters of Logix Federal Credit Union at their beautiful new facility. Logix has been a longtime supporter of the city of Santa Clarita and many of the events that we enjoy throughout the year. They've been the presenting sponsors for the popular Concerts in the Park series, a Santa Clarita Marathon, the Cowboy Festival. They've even sponsored a field at Central Park. But we're here today to talk about something different. Logix has joined the city of Santa Clarita in a partnership to recognize the men and women who've been on the front lines fighting the global pandemic on behalf of our community. So let's go in and talk to a few of their employees and hear what they have to say.
Really, at Logix Federal Credit Union, we are heavily focused in on our member. And it's so important for us to make sure that everybody's doing well.
A lot of people don't realize Logix has been out here in the Santa Clarita Valley for over 30 years.
The city of Santa Clarita does so much for its residents. Your staff truly cares, as do our employees. We are fortunate to demonstrate our gratitude to the people of Santa Clarita today.
It's always been a part of the community's mission to serve and give back, and to have companies like Logix that share that mission makes for a perfect partnership. So I just want to thank you for being a part of that, and we're going to be excited to surprise some community members very shortly.
Good afternoon, Old Orchard Elementary School. I am Santa Clarita Councilwoman Marcia McLean. I want to thank all of the teachers and staff here at Old Orchard for the work you do on behalf of our young students each and every day. And I want to share some wonderful surprises with Ms. Rusikoff and Ms. Castaneda. For you to put yourselves out there like you do, you are our heroes, as are all the teachers in all of our schools. But today, thanks to Logix Federal Credit Union, we have some gift baskets for you, gift cards to your favorite stores, and of course, Coffee Bean. And we hear you like to dress the same, so we have some matching t-shirts for you as well. The fact that there were so many cars with so many little ones come by is a testament to how much you're loved.
I would say it's a little bit of a challenge in a virtual setting, but I definitely think it's doable. We also need to give them a lot of credit, and the families as well, for being so supportive and flexible, because without their support, we wouldn't be able to be as successful. So we appreciate our families as well as our students.
And you have 47 kindergartners between you, and you do it in English and in Spanish.
I mean, it's part of our personalities to be ridiculous and engaging. I feel like I have to provide those opportunities for them to engage with me.
Thanks to Logix, we surprise these young students with some items that will hopefully make the new school year easier and a little more fun. We have some super cool backpacks chock full of school supplies and other goodies.
So the Learning Hub is a collaboration between the Recreation and Community Services Department and the library as a way to offer a location, a safe place for the kids to come and do their distance learning, to have some sort of social interaction. You know, for these kids to come in and get that hands-on assistance, really just the city's way to give another layer of support to this community. They're sitting here with another group of kids, so they get excited to be in the same room with us.
Thanks to Logix, we already have surprised young students with backpacks, good things for them to use, play with, learn with. So thank you, Logix, for your participation in this great program. And thank you, Lance, and thank you, City of Santa Clarita.
We are here at Waste Management, where about 50 employees are about to head out on their daily route. We have a surprise for you this morning. Thanks to Logix Federal Credit Union, we have revamped your outdoor patio. Over the past 6 months, you and your co-workers have continued to work, dealing with an increase in capacity because more people have been at home. Thank you from the community for all of you essential workers during this difficult time. You play a key role in what goes on here in Santa Clarita and every city. And we're very appreciative for your dedication to your work and for the benefit you bring to our community. Thank you so much from the City of Santa Clarita. Thank you. If you're ready to take a look at it, maybe we can move this truck out of the way and get further appreciation.
It was exciting. It was nice to see that the city has looked at our essential workers
and paid back a little appreciation for everything they've gone through throughout this epidemic. I can't thank you guys enough.
Yeah, it's nice seeing someone from the city come and say thank you pretty much. We do a lot of work for Santa Clarita, and it feels good to be appreciated.
Good morning, I'm Councilwoman Lorene West. I'm here at beautiful Canyon Country Park, and I'm here to meet Carmen Navarra and her family with Diego and Jesus, and we're here to hopefully be able to give her a check and help her to better take care of her children, her family. She needs some assistance.
It's been really hard, especially on his condition. It's getting a little bit harder because we have a lot of doctor's appointments. And we have to, on July, he got really sick. He got a cardiomyopathy. So it was really hard for the whole week because we thought he wasn't gonna make it. The doctors told me that he wouldn't make it through the night. It's a disease that progresses. Sooner or later, there's a lot of issues. His cords are getting tight. There's a lot of medical things that I have to have in my house. And I can't just say I'm moving, because it's not.
Well, I can see that you've been going through some extreme hardship, and you're a very strong woman to be able to handle it so well. We wanted to see if we could help you so that you could be able to transport him more easily to the doctors.
Yes.
This is yours, and you'll have to take a smaller one to the bank, but all right, everybody put your arms out. Let's just hug. We're hugging.
So as we discussed when we were over at Logic's headquarters, we wanted to come to Henry Mayo and have a conversation with some of our essential workers and really recognize the true heroes of our community. Tell me what it was like when we first started hearing about the virus and knowing that it was here in Santa Clarita and you started to see some patients. What was kind of the reaction?
Well, I mean, I'm sure just like everyone in the community, we're all a little scared, nervous, not knowing, but the hospital did a great job getting together, the infection control, our managers. I mean, they were just working hard to make us feel safe. It's unfortunate because of something like this, but I think it brought nursing, respiratory, everyone in the hospital. Thank you. If it wasn't for you guys and the community with your support, I think us would have been a little bit harder, but just to have your energy, your support, it helped all of us at work a lot, so thank you.
So the city is sponsored with Logic's Federal Credit Union, and we have some of the branch managers here that wanted to go a little bit more to try to make your guys' life a little bit easier when we can. And obviously we've got you got a coffee machine, and all that I know that's keeping you guys going. So I think that tells you anything. If the coffee got a greater applause than the TV, I know firsthand the work that you are doing, and we are so blessed to live in a community like this where we come together to help. So thank you guys to the staff for all that you're doing. Thank you for Logix for being another amazing partner.